one of the worst things you could do on your dating journey is just allow that energy leak and to allow everyone to just tell you what you should be doing, how you should be dating, how often you should be dating, if you should be saying yes or no. Like, a lot of that is where the overwhelm comes from and the frustration comes from and the despair comes from. And so gaining that sense of self back where you're like, I emotionally and mentally feel grounded enough and feel strong enough to handle whatever's outside of me because I'm able to handle what's inside of me. Welcome to the Marriage Magnet Podcast, where it's not just about attracting the one, it's about becoming the one. I'm your host, Nechama Phillips, and here we focus on growth, high standards, and creating an intentional life and love through self-development. Navigate your dating journey with clarity and confidence because marriage is not just a box you check off, it's your life. Hi, and welcome back to the Marriage Magnet Podcast. Today, I actually wanted to do something a little bit different. Sometimes I go through client stories, client transformations, and I share with you where the client was when she first came to me and then what kind of her journey was and what her story was and how we worked through things and if it ended up in engagement. This time I wanted to do something a little bit different. Bear with me. I kind of want to pretend that you are the client and I want to bring you into the process of understanding what it would look like if you were my client and you came to me with specific problems, specific issues, specific frustrations. What would I do with them? How would I handle them? How would I address them? Where would I begin? And just to share a little bit more of my approach so that you can see yourself within this story. So this story is not real, it's pretend, but it's just going to be me meeting you where you are potentially. And even if these are not your exact things, like maybe you don't relate to everything that I'm saying, but you'll just get a feel for how I handle when a new client comes to me and how I would approach, like what my framework, what my philosophy, just the way that I operate in the Marriage Magnet program and give you a sense of what the experience is like. So let's jump in. Okay, so imagine that you came to me and you said, Nechama, I've been feeling really, really frustrated in my dating journey. I've been going out with people who are just really not aligned. I thought I knew what I wanted. Like, I think I know what my needs are. I think I know who I'm looking for, but somehow it's just not actually working in real life. Maybe people are misunderstanding me. Maybe I'm not presenting myself in a way that's coming across correctly. And it just feels like I'm constantly being pushed towards options that don't even feel remotely close to what I'm looking for. And it's just really frustrating, really defeating. And I'm starting to just wonder if this will ever happen and will I have to settle and will I ever find someone who meets the standards that I'm looking for? I'm just feeling emotionally defeated. I'm just wondering if like maybe my expectations are not realistic and just feeling like something might be wrong with me or like maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I really don't know what I want. Like what's actually going on here? If this sounds like your reality right now, then first of all, you are not alone. And here's what we would do first. So first you would book a consultation call with me. And on that call, we would discuss everything that has been going on for you and where you feel your stuck points are. I would ask you questions about your dating experiences so far and just in general, who you are as a person, trying to get to know you and what's important to you and where are you feeling like your experiences are affecting your mindset, your confidence, and just unpack what your fears are and what your hopes are and just help you feel understood, because I know that even though we want to jump right straight to fixing problems and just being like, okay, here's the answer for you, that's not really what we need. People need to just feel seen and feel understood and feel held and feel supported. And that's what I like to do first. And once I understand and feel like I understand enough to start guiding you, that's when we kind of make a plan of where would you like to be? Like if these were not holding you back, what could you envision is possible for you? If you didn't feel defeated, how would you operate? If you didn't feel like you're getting something wrong, what would your dating life look like? What would your confidence look like? And just create some kind of plan for where you hope to be at the end of our work together. If we both feel like we would be a great fit to work together, I would invite you inside the Marriage Magnet Method program. And in there, we would tailor the framework specifically to your unique situation. Now, I do have a general framework. I do have lessons. These are all self-guided and self-paced. And so everyone can just like kind of take bits and pieces of what they feel they need throughout their journey in the program. But what I do is get to understand each person's unique situation so that I can guide them directly in the one-on-one aspect of the program and even on our group calls together where we do hot seat coaching and each person is getting a chance to ask their coaching questions, share about their experiences, and receive that tailored feedback. In your case or your pretend case, because you feel like there's a disconnect between what you think you want and then the matches that you're getting, and you're just feeling emotionally drained and emotionally exhausted, we'd start to just clarify what your true values are, what your true priorities are, and see if actively you've been aligning with that yourself, and if you've been able to portray it in the right way, and if maybe ideas about what the ideal person is for you are influenced by pressure, by societal expectations, maybe even just by like movies or things that have been stuck in your head about what you think you want, and maybe that's not actually aligning to your true values, and that mismatch is causing that to not come across correctly. Through guided self-awareness exercises and clarity exercises, we would really try to hone in on what the true vision is for your marriage, what the true vision is for the life that you're hoping to have, and to see if your values, your priorities, your needs, your wants, your desires are all understood, even by you, enough that that clarity shines through in the way that you present yourself when people are suggesting people to you, in the way that you present yourself on dates. Getting this clarity is so, so crucial because, again, it can change what your heart is drawn to, because sometimes we'll have residual things left in our heads and in our hearts about like what we think we need, and we're like, yeah, I think I know what I need. I think I have a pretty solid idea. But when it comes down to it and we discuss core priorities and core values, somehow there's just like these mismatches. And so when we get into it and we get to a place of like real solid awareness, understanding, clarity, and that groundwork for the vision that you really, really want for yourself and for your life, everything automatically gets easier. The way that you evaluate potential suggestions gets easier if you're dating naturally, when you're looking out on your own and you're meeting people. It just either will align or it won't much more easily, without that confusion, without that push and pull, without that part of you that's just like I kind of want, it's not good, it's kind of good. It's like, and you're just like struggling and having that internal battle because a part of you just wants to like be okay with something that you're not okay with. Because you're feeling drained and emotionally defeated, we would also work a lot on mindset and emotional stuff, because those things are really helpful. Not only are the practical, like, okay, dating strategies, this is what you need to do, or this is how to present yourself better, or this is how, like, let's figure out your clarity. Besides for those things, there's really just building that mental and emotional resilience and those mindset reframes that give you so much strength and ability to go through the dating process and not to let it crush you. We would explore different tools to emotionally protect your energy, to foster self-compassion, and even just practical strategies to protect your energy. Because one of the worst things you could do on your dating journey is just allow that energy leak, and to allow everyone to just tell you what you should be doing, how you should be dating, how often you should be dating, if you should be saying yes or no. Like, a lot of that is where the overwhelm comes from, and the frustration comes from, and the despair comes from. And so gaining that sense of self back, where you're like, I emotionally and mentally feel grounded enough and feel strong enough to handle whatever's outside of me, because I'm able to handle what's inside of me, that is really, really, really helpful. And then when it comes to practical dating strategy and communication between either you and shadchanim, you and matchmakers, you and people who are setting you up, suggestions, or even dating people naturally and having like different communication misinterpretations and miscommunications and misunderstandings. If you feel like people that are suggested to you are feeling like just so off base, we would try to explore that from multiple different angles. Like, are you presenting yourself to shadchanim in a way that is helping them understand who you are? Do your family and friends know you well enough, or know really the core values that you hold, especially if they're different from theirs, because they may be projecting like, oh, she thinks she needs this, but I think I know better about what she needs than what she thinks she needs. And is there a mismatch between what you state your values are and then what your true preferences are? Because sometimes we're even ashamed to admit that we want what we want, and so we'll try and pretend that we don't really want it, and we'll tell people, no, it's okay, I don't mind if he doesn't this, or I don't mind. And then when it comes down to it, you're dating people and you're like, I really mind. I really don't like this. And you forget that you may have presented yourself differently than what your true preferences are, because maybe you were scared to own up to it, or you just didn't feel comfortable expressing it. Another thing to explore here would also be, how do I know the difference between having high standards and operating from fear? Because sometimes we have high standards, and it's good. I'm a big advocate for having high standards and creating that intentional life and love that you want, and you deserve it. And at the same time, we also have to look at the flip side of like, is there some self-sabotage going on here? And like, could there be something that's getting in the way of me giving things a chance that maybe I should give a chance? And I'm just too busy thinking that I need to have high standards without realizing that maybe the reason I'm pushing people away is not because they can't live up to those standards, because I'm not allowing them to live up to those standards, or I'm not giving them the chance, or my expectations are built on fear-based like defense mechanisms of protecting myself. And so therefore they may not actually be standards. They may just be like barriers that I've been putting up unknowingly, pushing people away and not having the ability to let in the love that I want. And so I always want to look at, let's create high standards, and let's also see where we may be operating from fear, so we can remove those blockages and truly allow our standards to guide the experience and not our fears and our blockages. Part of this process would also be giving you that integration and that support. So you would not be alone in this. And honestly, sometimes that's the hardest part of going through the dating journey, at least from what I remember, just feeling like nobody gets it. Nobody gets this heartache, this frustration, the devastation of trying to, go out on dates, and then you think something's becoming something, and then it falls apart. Or I had an almost engagement at one point, and I know actually one of my clients last night in the MMM call was talking about her broken engagement and just like how she is afraid to own that and express that. And maybe it makes people think differently of her. And like all of these things that we go through, that we quietly have these things in our minds, and we're just afraid to really like own it. And it's so much easier when we have support. You'll have support from me, and you'll have support from other people that are going through the same things as you. And of course, everyone has a unique story, and everyone has a different, a different experience. And actually in the current cohort of MMM, it's really cool because we have a range of ages and backgrounds that we've never had before. Like the diversity is insane. There's literally a range, I'm pretty sure, of 12 years and of backgrounds ranging from like modern Orthodox to like ultra Hasidish. So it's very varied, and it's so beautiful because everyone's experience is different, but at the heart of it, we're all the same. We're all human, and we're going through such a similar stage of life. And so you would feel so supported and so seen and so understood. And also that practical integration piece of like, together we're going to be working on things. Together there's custom tailored exercises. We do mini workshops based on what everyone in the group is experiencing. We kind of twist and turn and modify the framework to meet everyone where they are and be able to give them that way of integrating knowledge, and not just saying like, this is what you should be doing. And then it's like, okay, but how do I do it? This is like, we're here to support. I'm here to support each person, and I'm here to foster that supportive environment where everyone can support each other, and where you can fully integrate with the homeworks and the lessons and everything that I put inside the program. You can fully integrate the knowledge. And so instead of just, you learned in a course or you went to some dating coach and they said that you should do this and they gave you these tips, but like, tips is not enough, right? We don't need tips. We need real support. We need someone who can hold us and carry us through this experience with the wisdom, with the tips, so to speak, but also with that human component of like, I need real, live, tailored, customized guidance and support. And that's what I provide inside the program. So imagine you did come to me and you did decide, okay, I'm ready to have this consultation call. You have the consultation call, you come into the program, you start working through the program with me and with us. How does this change things for you? You are going to no longer feel stuck and feel defeated. That I can tell you. You're not going to feel like something is holding you back. You're not going to feel like you're constantly failing. You're not going to feel like nothing is working. Maybe nothing will magically get fixed in the sense that like, here, I can't give you your husband. I always say like, I can't just like, here you go, here's your husband. I can't do that for you. But everything else, all the rest of that, the baggage, the everything that comes along with it that really makes it so difficult, that's the part that we can release and relieve. And then the burden just feels so much lighter. You're with people, you're not alone, you're feeling supported, you're feeling seen, you're practically gaining tools and advice that are truly like integratable, if that's a word, and you're able to just like live and date so much more confidently and so much more authentically. You're also going to have a deep understanding, like true understanding of what you want and what you need in someone. And I help you create that vision, like that vision for your marriage, and really go to that place where sometimes we're afraid to, because it's hard to imagine something that we're not sure we're going to get. So we're like, no, I don't really want to, imagine anything, because if I imagine it, if I don't get it, I'm going to be too disappointed, kind of thing. Or we don't want to imagine it because we're afraid that if we don't truly know what we want and we imagine something and then the real life doesn't live up to those exact expectations, we're also going to be disappointed or thrown off. And so you need support to do that, because we want to be able to create that vision. Without creating that vision, we literally just can't get there, because whenever we get there is not going to be where we want to go. So we have to create what that vision is of getting there. What does there look like? Obviously, it doesn't have to be down to every single detail, but we have to understand, like, we have to be able to visualize. What does it feel like? What does it look like? What's important to me? And how would that play out in my life in a way that's meaningful to me, in a way that really will feel like a dream come true, and let ourselves go there so that we can start heading there and actually have a chance of getting there. You're going to feel just so much more emotionally like lighter, more resilient, more mentally clear, and be able to face the dating process with so much more hope instead of feeling dread and defeat. You would learn how to communicate your needs, express your boundaries, be yourself, be authentic, and really start attracting people who align with who you truly are and what you truly want and need in a spouse, so that you can have the relationship of your dreams. Because the work that we do here in the program, the work that we do now, the work that you do on yourself, I always say, like, it doesn't sound so appealing, but the self-development work, the part that goes into who you're becoming and like the self that you're creating, is the most important part. It's not just getting the ring on your finger, it's about who you're becoming. And if you focus on that, not only will it accelerate your journey towards that marriage, but it will also give you the tools to create the strong foundation that you need, so that when you do find the right person, you don't sabotage it, right? When you do find the right person, you're able to let the love in because you've done the work. You're able to also communicate well in a healthy way and create a marriage that is strong and happy and can stand the test of time. Like, sometimes it's like we just think, okay, let me just get married. But when you get married, then what? Then what for the rest of your life, right? And so this work is not only going to help you on your dating journey, it will help you once you get there. Once you get to that goal of, okay, I met my person, I'm getting engaged, I'm getting married, where do we go from there? And you want to be the kind of person who knows how to create the life and love of her dreams, regardless of what your external circumstances are. So while you're dating, while you're engaged, while you're married, it's about you. It's about the person that you're becoming. And that's the beauty of the work that we do inside the Marriage Magnet Method. It's really, truly about you. You're going to be able to approach dating as an empowering journey of self-discovery instead of it being a source of stress and confusion. If what I just described sounds like the kind of transformation that you're ready for, this is exactly what I offer within the Marriage Magnet Method program. It's personal, practical, heart-centered coaching that meets you where you are and helps you break free of everything that's holding you back and making you feel like you're stuck. So I invite you to take a look. Check out the description below, because I have a video there that just goes through what the program is about and gives you a little bit more details on the structure and how it works. And this is really what it's all about, that personalized, practical, heart-centered coaching that you need, that you're looking for on your dating journey, to help you remove the blockages that might be keeping you stuck, that might be holding you back, and empower you to create that vision and run towards it with confidence, with clarity, and with joy. If you want to explore working together, feel free to go to my website, nachamaphillips.com, or just reach out directly to book a free call with me. I'll leave that link in the description and show notes below. I would love to get to know you and your unique story and your unique goals and help you feel supported on your journey towards the love that you deserve. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope this gave you a glimpse of what's possible when you take that leap and invest in yourself. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye, guys.